a big decision.
Defense lawyers will tell you that that is one of the riskiest things you can do in a criminal case, is to call the defendant himself to testify.
Plus, Hunter Biden's daughter takes the stand. What she said that made her father emotional. The CBS Evening News starts now. Good evening, and thank you for being with us. I'm Margaret Brennan, in for Nora O'Donnell. The prosecution rested in the federal gun trial of Hunter Biden. His eldest daughter took the stand today to testify in his defense. Naomi Biden told the jury about visiting her father while he was in rehab, just weeks before the gun purchase at the center of the case. She said, quote, "He seemed like the clearest I had seen him since my uncle died. And then I told him I was so proud of him." An emotional moment that came after prosecutors wrapped their case with testimony from law enforcement officials who spoke about drug residue and text messages between Hunter Biden and his alleged dealers. CBS's Scott McFarland was inside the courtroom and will start us off tonight.
30-year-old Naomi Biden, the president's granddaughter, was called to the stand as the defense tries to spare her father, Hunter Biden, from prison. Admitting she was nervous, her voice barely audible at times, Naomi Biden testified her father struggled with drug addiction but never took illegal drugs in front of her. Hunter Biden appeared to be emotional at times during her testimony, and she acknowledged that after her uncle, Beau Biden, died, things got bad for her father.
I think Naomi Biden provided a lot of sympathy, but not a lot of hard evidence that would exculpate her father.
Prosecutors are trying to prove Hunter Biden was addicted or using drugs at the time he bought a gun in October 2018, lying on this federal background check. Today, an FBI forensic chemist testified traces of cocaine were found in the pouch holding Hunter Biden's gun. Hallie Biden, Beau Biden's widow, is seen in surveillance video throwing it out after she found the gun in the president's son's truck. But on the stand today, Naomi Biden testified her father seemed to be doing better during that period of time, potentially bolstering the defense's argument Hunter Biden felt he was recovering from drug use when he bought the gun. Naomi Biden said she used her father's truck just days before the gun was discovered and that she saw no drugs or paraphernalia in it. The defense says it may call Hunter Biden to testify next week. Former prosecutor Tom Dupree says that would expose Biden to very tough questions for prosecutors.
When you put the defendant on the stand to testify in his own defense, you're risking opening a Pandora's box.
There are no other defense witnesses, so this case could go to closing arguments by the end of the day Monday, and then into the hands of a Delaware jury. Margaret?
Scott McFarland in Delaware tonight. Well, President Biden paid tribute today to the Army Rangers who stormed the beaches of Normandy 80 years ago this week and drew parallels between Nazi Germany's invasion of Europe then to Russia's invasion of Ukraine today. CBS's Ed O'Keefe reports the president's message to the world was clear, a plea to defend democracy.
President Biden's helicopter swooped over the 100-foot sheer cliffs of Pointe du Hoc, scaled by American Army Rangers 80 years ago, and celebrated by the commander-in-chief today.
I've long said that history has shown that ordinary Americans can do extraordinary things when challenged. There's no better example of that in the entire world than right here at Pointe du Hoc.
He used the stunning backdrop to argue the best way Americans can honor their sacrifice is to sustain democracy at home and in places like Ukraine.
They fought to vanquish a hateful ideology in the 30s and 40s. Does anyone doubt they wouldn't move heaven and earth to vanquish hateful ideologies of today?
The speech had echoes of Republican President Ronald Reagan's address from the same spot 40 years ago this week.
It is better to be here ready to protect the peace than to take blind shelter across the sea, rushing to respond only after freedom is lost.
We spoke to the lone World War II veteran in attendance, John Wardell, who was just an 18-year-old private when he came ashore.
I just thank God that I was able to come here and stop here today and to be here.
Earlier, the president met with Ukraine's Volodymyr Zelensky, also in France to mark D-Day, and to appeal to world leaders for help in the fight against Russia. President Biden announced another $225 million worth of aid, including air defense equipment, armored vehicles, and anti-tank weapons. And in a notable rebuke of conservative lawmakers who held up billions in aid earlier this year, the president